On behalf of Logan Davis.
Your name, sir?
Logan Davis, sir.
Your Honor, today had been set, I believe, for a potential evidentiary hearing. Counsel has not yet made any remarks with respect to the motions into the record. At this time, people obviously have some things that will may or may not want to keep in mind before we actually begin to take eye testing.
Do you have your officer here?
They are here.
I mean, I don't know what you want to argue.
Well,
I've read the briefs.
just to cite a couple different matters. One, a little more elegant.
Yeah.
Thank you. Judge, my point is, even if Mr. Bohannes is correct on his assertions, it neither suppresses the evidence he seeks to suppress, nor does it exclude. I would indicate to the court that under People versus Wagner, there is no longer a requirement for admissibility to be based on a 15-minute waiting period. It goes to weight. In fact, Judge, all of his arguments go to weight and not admissibility. He's made an nystagmus argument. Under the case law, we are still within the tolerable range for reading nystagmus, 4 or 6 clues. The case that I believe he's relying on, Bayer, has 2 of 6 clues. There is plenty of probable cause for the arrest, but most importantly, Judge, as the court is aware, under all the what we can call them the bail reforms, MCL 764.9 governs arrest without a warrant. And operating while intoxicated is considered a serious misdemeanor. However, if this matter were even considered a quote-unquote impaired arrest, under Section 5C, if there's a reasonable likelihood that the offense would continue or another person would be endangered, the defendant cannot be released. So by definition, Judge, it would have been, number one, unlawful to permit Mr. Davis to continue on his way after probable cause, in our view, was shown that he was intoxicated. And number two, would have exposed the city of Woodhaven to massive liability as he's operating a motor vehicle on Freeland, and at least according to 2 of our officers, in an intoxicated state. So the people are suggesting that there's no discovery in district court other than by order. And the order this court executed did not indicate depositions. The court indicated what needs to be turned over. We turned it over. There's nothing in there that provides for a deposition. I think that's what Mr. Bohannes is seeking to do. And so the people indicate we don't believe we've risen to a level where we can even show there's a question that the court could rule upon, even in the best light, that would exclude the evidence. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Do you want to say anything?
Under the new laws, OWI is considered not serious misdemeanor.
I know.
So he's totally wrong on that. And so I really don't know where he's coming from, to be honest with you. I did have a brief discussion with the prosecutor regarding possibly resolving the matter, but so I didn't know if you wanted to see us about that, or if you're still of that mind, or.
Your Honor, the city of Woodhaven has a fairly strict policy that any significant reduction in a plea bargain must be approved by the arresting officer, and that has not been the case this morning.
What, you're asking for something other than a drunk driving?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, there's a lot of issues with this station, and you'll see them. They give him a PBT after he's chewing gum 3 minutes later. They, just a whole. They didn't wait the 15 minutes. He didn't observe him for the 15. There's a lot of things. And if you watch the video, you're going to probably see the best display of performance of field sobriety test that you've seen as a judge.
Okay. Well,
And we're talking about a case that's 0.08.
what are you asking me to do? I mean,
I guess we need to proceed. I was under the impression that they wanted. We're seeking just. And I'm not sure if I should mention this to the clerk at this But,
Well, I'm sure you were, it sounds like you were seeking something other than impaired. You were
Yeah.
asking for something else.
yeah, we're seeking, reckless in lieu of the.
But that's not for me. What do I gotta talk about?
No, I know, yeah, that's fine,
Let's have the evidentiary hearing
that's fine.
and we'll go from there. What officer are you going to call first?
Your Honor, Officers Timmons and Officers Cash.
Okay.
And we provided the video, Your Honor, so, and, to Lisa, as you suggested.
Right.
So she'll be able to display the video, and we're gonna be using that as part of our presentation. We can do it after, the officer testifies, or
Okay,
if you want.
good enough.
That's,
Call your first witness.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good morning. Come on up here, officer. I'm going to ask you to raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm under penalties of perjury that the testimony you'll give in these proceedings will be the whole true self you got.
Yes.
All right, have a seat, please. And you may proceed, Mr. Thurman.
Many people proceed, Your Honor.
Yes,
Good morning, Officer. Your name, please?
Officer Timmons
And, Officer Timmons, how are you employed?
by the city of Woodhaven
And in what capacity?
as a police officer.
Okay. Briefly, with respect to any training and experience that you may have, can you outline for the court and for defense counsel, what requirements you met in order to become a sworn Michigan peace officer?
It's in addition to me having a bachelor's in criminal justice, I attended a police academy. Very good.
And, with respect to any areas of greater attention for you, the patrolman encounters all manner of, activity. What, if any, specific discipline is your long suit, so to speak? What do you have more experience or training?
With people operating under the influence of either alcohol or narcotics.
Very well. And, can you estimate, were you employed, I'm sorry, Judge, were you employed by a different department before you came to Woodhaven?
Yes,
And what department was that?
the city link department, which
Thank you. And, since you've been to Woodhaven, because that's a shorter period of time, how many years has that been?
6 at Lincoln Park, and this is my 3rd year here at Woodhaven.
Thank you. Can you estimate how many, alcohol enforcement arrests you've made since being sworn in at Woodhaven?
At Woodhaven. Approximately 30 to 40, maybe at the high end.
Thank you. So Officer Timmons, directing your attention to July the 22nd of this past summer. Were you on duty that day?
Yes,
And were you operating a marked patrol vehicle?
I was.
All right. Drawing your attention to the evening hours, did you have any cause to make a traffic stop at approximately 8:20?
Yes.
And can you please describe that traffic stop?
There's a Chevy Cruze traveling near me. I noticed that it had an October 2023 registration sticker. I ran the plate and it was expired, so I stopped it.
So October 2023, year and a half stale tag, is that your testimony?
Yes,
Okay. And did you have occasion to stop this vehicle?
I did.
Was there any difficulty in attempting to stop it?
No,
And what, if anything, happened, at that point? When you stop a vehicle, do you radio first that you are in fact conducting a traffic stop?
yes,
Okay, so this thing, and therefore your colleagues knew what you were doing?
yes.
Okay. So what happened next after the vehicle stopped?
Made contact with the driver.
Okay, Did you notice anything notable about the driver?
His eyes were bloodshot and water, their blood red and water.
Did you detect any odors other than the
Objection,
odor of the
leading.
Chevy Cruze?
Wait a minute, I didn't hear the rest of the question.
I asked if he detected any odors other than the odor of a Chevrolet Cruze, Your Honor. The vehicle in question.
Nah, over there, over there. Go
I
ahead.
did smell an odor of toxins, but on the vehicle.
Okay. So when you answered that, you said intoxicants and didn't say alcohol, correct?
Right.
What if anything happened next?
I had another unit make my stop and I conducted a field sobriety on track.
All right, who, if anyone, was in that other unit?
Officer Cash.
Okay. And in addition to, the condition you described, which I believe you said, well, watery eyes,
Yes, they were red and water.
and you said there was an odor that you detected. What was the third item?
Just red bloodshot eyes. Water.
All right, so red rimmed eyes and watery eyes, correct? Okay. Did the defendant, at any time verbalize why he may have known that he was pulled over? Was he aware of his license plate?
I believe he was, yes.
And you indicated you did call for backup. You suggested field sobriety. Can you briefly describe, what, if any, training you received in field sobriety? That would be considered a standardized test under Michigan law.
Yeah, through the academy, they put us all through standard field sobriety training, so we're all certified in that from the academy. And then I also attended A-Ride school, which is put on through the Michigan State Police.
Okay. And within the realm of field sobriety tests, is it fair to say that, there are three principal tests that are found to be the most reliable?
For alcoholism,
Okay. And what are those three?
horizontal gaze, nystagmus, walk and turn, and one leg stand.
And knowing that and knowing the training on that, you mentioned 40 previous arrests. Did you have occasion on any number of those to perform the test you just described?
Yes.
Okay. So when you indicated to the defendant you wanted him to begin some field sobriety tests for you, what if anything happened next?
He complied and got out of the vehicle. He did not.
Okay. And what was the first test you administered?
Horizontal gaze, nystagmus.
Okay, can you please describe that test for the court?
Yeah, it's we can get the driver's attention for his eyes. His eyes move only on the stimulus, which I use to tip my finger. And you look for the involuntary jerking, sort of called, for the eyes.
Okay. And did you have occasion to train on that test at the police academy?
Yes.
And did you have occasion to administer that test to any motorists before administering it to Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Okay. So what, if anything, did your administration of the nystagmus test tell you?
That he was definitely under the influence of.
Okay. There are phrases that we hear a lot in alcohol enforcement, including maximum deviation 45 degrees. Specifically, what is it that you believe you saw when you administered the nystagmus test?
I observed a lack of smooth pursuit in both of his eyes, and I also observed the distinct and sustained nystagmus at maximum deviation in both of his eyes.
Very well. And based on your training and experience, you believe that that test was one of a battery of field sobriety tests that would indicate intoxication.
Yes.
What, if any, test did you administer next?
Walking turn test.
Okay, can you describe that test?
It showed the driver and start in the position I wanted him to start in. I gave him directions, I showed him what I wanted him to do, and then I told him what I wanted to do. So you start out in the starting position, wait till he tell you to start, and you take 9 steps heel to toe, counting out loud. Once you get to your 9th step, take a series of small steps, turn and go back to 9 steps.
Okay. In administering a psychophysical test, so to speak, field sobriety test, what, if any, role do instructions to the motorist play?
It's important, so they have to pay attention and know what you're asking of them.
So it's a fair statement to say both the physical performance, as it were, and the ability to follow instructions are matters that you're attuned to, is that fair?
Yes.
Okay. And in explaining that to the defendant, how, if at all, did the defendant perform on the walking turn test?
When he got to the turn after his 9th step, he did not turn in the fashion of a demonstrator. He did not take a series of small steps. And then on his way back, instead of taking 9 steps, he took 10. Okay.
So when you say a series of small steps, can you demonstrate that for the court in terms of how you would instruct on that? And describe that test to the court brief.
You start out with your feet together, hands at your sides. When I tell you to start, pick whatever foot that you choose, left or right, 6 inches off the ground. Just count 1,001, 1,002, until I tell you to stop.
Okay. And how, if at all, did the defendant perform in that test?
He performed that test. As shown.
And what, if anything, happened next in terms of any administration of any tests?
Asked him to submit to a preliminary breath test. He said he would.
Okay. And in administering the breath test, can you estimate how many minutes into the traffic stop it was?
15.
Okay. Did the defendant have anything in his mouth that you
At
consider?
the time of the stop, he did was chewing gum, but I had to spit it out before they could.
So when you administered the test, you were using a portable breath test unit that is, maintained and certified with Woodhaven PD through the state police, is that right?
The PVC, yes.
Yes. Okay. And are you aware of anything that was, malfunctioning with respect to that PVT?
No.
Okay. What, if any, PVT result did you see after you administered the test?
PVC result 0.086, I believe.
What, if anything, happened next?
I subsequently placed him under arrest. For driving under the influence.
And when you place somebody under arrest and there isn't perhaps another driver, is it required to impound the vehicle for the safety of the vehicle?
Yes.
Okay. Anything unusual about that impoundment process in terms of the vehicle itself and or its contents?
Objection irrelevant, Your Honor. We're here only on the test of the suppression of the PBT and the intoxication 90,000. This goes to a different count in the case.
Your Honor, I think that the law actually provides a non-standardized test may be used with respect to trying to detect the prior consumption of alcohol. All tests do not have to be
Well,
squaring with
did he,
national.
did he conduct a non-standard,
Transportation safety.
did he conduct a non-standard field sobriety test?
I'm sorry, Judge?
Did he conduct a non-standard field sobriety test?
It is my contention to the court relative to the objection that one forgetting they have a firearm under their seat could be considered as similar to instructions or other issues with respect to memory and indicia that he may have been.
Well, that's not a non-standard field sobriety test, so
I will withdraw.
thank you, I'll sustain the
Thank you.
objection.
upon impoundment, can you indicate what, if anything, happened next with respect to your conduct with the defendant?
Sure, I can speak that once I placed him under arrest, he notified me that he had a pistol in the vehicle and he was seeking out.
At any time did you secure the defendant in your vehicle?
I did.
Okay. Do you recall approximately what time that was?
I placed him under arrest roughly 8:35, 8:36, 8:37, was in the back of the car.
And approximately how far is it, or us being in Michigan, how many minutes is it to the station house?
We're already in 75, so we're gonna bring up a train. Within 5 minutes.
And during this encounter, so from the time you pulled the pen over, was your attention taken away from him for any considerable length of time? Okay. Can you briefly describe the procedure for the physical being of the defendant in terms of coming in through the Sally port and processing? What happened next?
Yeah, so he was, I brought him out of the car, he was obviously handcuffed behind his back. Put his property on the counter, and then I read him his chemical test rates from the DUI vaccine, so.
Okay. And where exactly this, what is the nature or the model or the make of the unit that Woodhaven uses for breathalyzing at the station?
It's oxygenated, man.
Okay. Are you trained on the intoxicants?
Right.
Please describe that training for the court.
So, when you come on our training, you gotta go down, I had to go down to MSP headquarters where they taught the whole course. They showed the instructor you everything there is to know about the machine, how to use the machine.
Okay. Does this machine, strike that, how does this machine compare to the data master in terms of ease of operation?
To be honest, I like the data master better than. It's still pretty easy to use.
Okay. And did you, follow the training protocol that you were given when you began the cycle, so to speak, for the intoxilizer test on Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Describe that.
So you start the machine, it's gotta warm up, and then you take some time for that. You put in your info, your certification, then you put in his info. Then the machine runs through its blank test, and then it'll tell you invoices and, blow into the machine.
Okay. And did in fact, Mr. Davis provide a breast sample?
He did.
Was there anything in his mouth?
No.
Had he been observed by you and or Officer Cash up to that?
Yes.
For how many minutes can you estimate?
At least.
Okay. And when was the traffic stop?
8.
Okay. And do you recall when the first breath sample was taken?
I'll say shortly before 9.
Okay. How many minutes would that be now?
So between the traffic stop and minutes, roughly 40 minutes.
Thank you. And what was the test result with respect to that intoxication?
The exact number I have to refer to on the portal.
Would it refresh your memory if you were able to refer?
Yeah, it was.
Thank you. But the court's okay, and go ahead.
Yes.
Thank you, Judge.
First test result was a 0.084.
Thank you. And is that is that coincidental to the PDT?
Yeah, it's roughly around the same number.
Okay, all right. Turning back to the roadway. Based on your training and experience, did you believe that the defendant was intoxicated?
Yes,
And do you believe he was too intoxicated to continue driving?
yes,
Did you believe a crime was being committed or had been committed in your presence?
yes.
Would you have, based on what you saw in terms of field sobriety tests and PVT, would you have permitted the defendant to just drive up?
No,
Did the defendant at any point suggest, let me lock it up and I'll get an Uber or walk?
no.
Okay. I have nothing further at this time.
Cross?
So you were wearing a body worn camera on the date in question, correct?
That is correct, sir.
Okay. And you also have a drive cam in the vehicle, correct?
No, I can't do the cars.
Okay. Now the body worn camera would demonstrate the length of the observation you had when you were continuously observing Mr. Davis, correct?
You asked me about body camera, was on him at all times throughout my encounter with him?
Well, it was on, well, I watched the video. Did you watch the video?
I did.
Okay. Was it on when you got out of your car to approach his car?
Yes.
Okay. And did it remain on at all times after that? Until you arrested him?
Until we got to the police station.
Okay. So that's what, so the camera would, the footage would show exactly what happened. You wouldn't have any, you wouldn't have any problems with what the video shows, correct?
Correct.
Now, if the video shows that, let me retract that. You claim that you waited 15 minutes. You observed Mr. Davis for 15 minutes before giving him the PBT test, correct?
No, that was the intoxication.
Okay. Well, I thought you said with respect to the PBT, you waited 15 minutes before giving him the PBT. Did you or did you not?
No, I believe we were talking about the intoxication.
Okay, let's go to the PBT. How long did you continuously observe Mr. Davis before administering the PBT?
So stop happened at 8:20. Backup was there within a minute, maybe two, so PBT was administered at 8:35. 14 minutes.
Okay, now, do you remember that your testimony was that you observed him chewing gum?
Yes,
Okay. How long was it before you observed him chewing gum?
I noticed when I started to do the test, I noticed he was chewing gum.
Okay, so how long after you noticed that he was chewing gum did you, and you said, is your sworn testimonies, you asked him to spit it out, correct?
For the PBT.
Before the PBT, and we should be able to see that on the body cam, correct? Okay. And if it's not there, you would agree that you were mistaken, correct? If it's not depicted in the body.
I'm gonna object because we don't have any foundation.
I'll withdraw, we'll watch the body. We'll watch. Okay, so you asked him to spit out the gum, correct?
Yes.
And after you asked him to spit out the gum, did you look at his mouth to see if anything else was in there?
No.
Okay. And how long after he spit out the gum did you administer the PBT? Two or 3 minutes?
Maybe.
Not even 2 or 3 minutes, correct?
I don't recall being on the time.
So you know for a fact that he had something in his mouth, he was chewing gum, immediately prior to administering the PBT within a couple of minutes, correct?
Objection, that's a mischaracterization of the testimony, Your Honor. Immediate means immediate. The officers already testified that there were
Why
some.
don't you rephrase?
I'll rephrase it. So you know for a fact that Mr. Davis had gum in his mouth within 2 or 3 minutes of taking the PBT, correct?
Again, I don't remember the amount of time, so I just know I hadn't taken one before with the PBT.
And you just testified that was about, to administer the PBT 2 or 3 minutes after he spit out the gun at your direction.
I didn't say time sheet.
Okay, let me ask you this. After Mr. Davis spit out the gun, how much later did you administer the PBT test?
This has been asked and answered, Your Honor.
That's okay. That's all right. Answer the question, sir, if you can.
Again, I don't remember the exact amount of time, but it could be 2 to 5 minutes.
Okay, and that's far shorter than the 15 minutes that's required, right?
For a PET.
Yes.
Objection, my foundation, there's no 15-minute observation requirement similar to the intoxilizer for the PD.
Yes, there is.
That is a misnomer.
No, sir. Let me ask you another question.
Wait, are you responding to his,
Yeah, there is a 15-minute requirement. You have to. You're on it, yeah, there is, just cited in my brief.
yeah,
Yeah, there is a 15-minute requirement, and then I have other questions regarding the foundation.
all right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and overrule the objection. Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So, the PBT that you used that day,
Yes.
did they have a number?
It's should be PET number 4. I don't know.
Okay. Prior to that morning, when was the last time that PBT was calibrated? By the department? No, I'm just asking, you're based on your knowledge.
I myself don't do it. I know Mr. Cash does that, the calibrations.
Do you know what, I just need to know that you don't know if it was calibrated, when it was calibrated?
No, I just know that the officers that are in charge of they calibrated and they put it back in service.
Okay. But you don't have personal knowledge that that particular incident was calibrated on that day, right? Now, you indicated too that, yeah, let's go into this horizontal gaze nystagmus test. You seem to know a little bit about this. So there are rules for administering the horizontal gaze nystagmus, correct?
Yes.
And those are contained in the NHTSA manual, correct? You know what NHTSA is,
Yeah,
correct?
National Highway Traffic.
Yeah. The rules are contained in that manual, correct?
Yes.
And that's how you learn to administer these.
Yes.
And so would you agree with me that if you fail to comply with the rules, that the validity of the test might be in question?
Objection called for legal conclusion, Your Honor.
Certainly, he's been trained on it.
From what you learned in your training, can you answer that question?
All I can say is from the training, I use that training. I use the amount of time that I had to use when I do it.
Okay, let me ask you this. When you use the stimulus, how far away is it supposed to be from the defendant's eyesight?
12 to 15 inches.
Okay. And then when you're making the passes, how many passes are you supposed to make to determine the tracking of the eyes?
So it'd be 1 for equal tracking and then 1 for lightning split pursuit.
Okay, and then how long are you supposed to track? How long is that supposed to take?
It can be a matter of seconds. There's no set time.
Okay, when you're trying to determine, so did you determine that the onset of nystagmus was prior to 45 degrees?
I did look for that. I didn't see.
So you did not see the onset of nystagmus before 45 degrees,
Perfect.
correct? And that's one of the flukes, correct?
Yes.
And then when you're doing the tracking here, like when you're doing this, when you do it to maximum deviation, there's a requirement that you hold that when you're looking for the nystagmus.
Yes.
Your Honor, I'm gonna object to form the question at this juncture, Mr. Boahanis is testifying.
I'm asking him a question, Your Honor, that's part of the rules.
All right, yeah, he's testified.
And I'm cross-examining him.
Yeah, I'm gonna overrule the objection. Thank you. Go ahead and answer the question, sir.
So when you have it out like this, okay, that maximum deviation, you're supposed to hold that, correct? Position.
Yes.
For how long are you supposed, there's a number of seconds, you're supposed to hold that. How many seconds are you supposed to hold that position?
Minimum of 8 seconds.
It's 4 seconds.
Well, now you did testify.
Okay, let me ask you this.
So-
So let me ask you this.
So I am striking.
Okay. Are you absolutely sure that this is your sworn testimony? Are you absolutely sure that you're supposed to hold that for the onset of maximum deviation for 8 seconds?
From what I've been trained now, yes.
Now, you also indicated that Mr. Davis completed the one-leg stand, correct? And that is a difficult test to complete, would you agree?
Yes, I mean,
So that where you have to understand the instructions and test your balance as well as what I'm trying to say. Right?
yeah, so it's a multifaceted test.
Something like that. And so what a defendant has to do is they have to raise their leg 6 inches off the ground, correct?
Their foot, yeah.
Their foot, I'm sorry, their foot 6 inches off the ground, parallel to the ground, holding their arms at their side, correct?
Yes.
And they're supposed to use the numbering, and they're supposed to hold their hands by their sides, correct?
Yes.
And you're looking for all these different issues, correct?
Yes.
And while they're doing that, they're supposed to maintain their balance and count 1,000, 2, 1,000 until you tell them to stop, correct?
Yes.
And when you do it, you're timing them, correct?
Yes.
And you're supposed to time them for 30 seconds, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And so you did that with Mr. Davis on that morning, and he passed that test.
It was in the evening. It was in the evening.
Oh, yeah, okay, that evening, and he passed the test, but
Yes.
so when you're administering these tests in these various cases, there's no one there to ensure that you're complying with complying with all the steps of the necessary test, correct? That's your judgment.
Yes.
Okay. Now, you said you had 30 to 40 arrests, in what given? Is that
I
right?
would say approximately, and then approximately 100 and like a
So, in the 30 to 40 arrests, if you recall, how often do you get a client that passes the one-way state? Is that a low percentage?
I don't just perform the test on people I believe that are in phrase.
No, I was talking about the 30 or 40
In Woodhaven.
in Woodhaven that you end up arresting.
I've had functioning alcoholics perform that test.
Okay, well. I'm not actually, I'm saying in the 30 to 40. Well, my client's VAC was 0.08.
Yes.
Okay. So we might be able to rule them out of that category, but that's generally one of the hardest tests to pass, correct?
That,
Of the 3.
I would say that the hardest one would be the eyes, because there's nothing anybody can train the eyes to.
Right, but if you improperly administer it, it could give you an invalid result, correct? And you also testified that you did not see the nystagmus prior to 45 minutes.
Correct.
Now, would you concede we're gonna be watching a video here shortly. Would you concede, there's a timestamp on the video from when you get out of your car to